What's going on, guys? I hope all you guys are having a nice day off, relaxing, hopefully. Today's April 10th, which is Good Friday, and we get a day off. So I'm actually looking forward to the day off. I I just been super busy. I moved last weekend, so that's why I didn't get the recap out last weekend. And the market's just been crazy. Been working super hard. So a nice little day off is nice, especially because I was having a little bit of a choppy week here. Had a break-even day on Monday and then a small red day on Wednesday. And I'm okay with that. It's been crazy, crazy. As all you guys know, everybody who kind of came up in my generation, started in 2017, late 2016, early 2017. It seems like everybody's having their best months ever. And even, the people that have been in the game for like 20 years are having their best months ever just because there's so much volatility everywhere. And it's really nice to see all of us killing it, which is really cool, but we just need to, realize how blessed we are to be able to do what we do right now and just stay at home while so many people are getting unemployed. 6.6 million people are unemployed. And, we have the ability to really capitalize on our career and make pretty insane money. I mean, I'm doing really well. I mean, 76,500 last month. That's just absolutely insane. And, Tim Grittani did 10x what I did. So that just kind of shows that I'm still very, I'm not any hot shot or anything. Um, I'm just, a normal trader, and this is what I believed I could do. You know what I mean? Make 3,700 a day on average, which is really cool. But there's traders averaging 20 grand a day, 30 grand a day, who have been around for much longer than me. So just gotta stay humble, even though I made a bunch of money this month, past month. Other than that, I wanted to definitely dive into what happened these 2 days, and that was mainly the stock APRN, and it was just such a high odds setup, and I had just been streaking so good previous weeks, so I really went in for it these 2 days. And I got a little emotional, I'm not going to lie, on the 18th, and I made my first mistake of the year. My first red day over 1,000. Yeah, my first red day over 1,000. So it was pretty bad. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but I'm not going to hide my mistake. You know what I mean? I lost $6,700, which is not a very good day, as you can imagine. But, then I rebounded very nicely the next day because then the setup got even better, which I'm lucky about because it could have been bad if the stock died without me, and that could have led into FOMO trading. And I'm just realizing um, how things can go down a bad path if you let one thing snowball. Like, that's why I'm so keen about always staying near my highs on my equity growth because I'd rather break even than take huge losses up and down. Like, I don't want to be losing 4 grand, making 8 grand, losing seven, making four. I want to be either making money or losing a lot less than I'm making. So, just something to think about. If your trading is making thousands and losing thousands, it's very hard to emotionally handle that, at least for me. I'm very keen on sideways or uptrending. So that's what I've stressed this for over a year now, is that you really just need to take small losses in this game because the market's not always going to be like this where I can make thousands and thousands a day. So when the market does slow down, the people who keep pushing are the ones that are going to lose a lot of their profits. You just need to take the market for what it is. There's always going to be some kind of opportunity, but there's not going to be, massive opportunity where I can really scale up and test my abilities that I've learned throughout the last 3.5 years. So to get into the month a little bit, it was, leading up to it, I made 22,500, 47,000, and now I made 76,500. So it's been a really good first quarter of the year, all green weeks, and my win percent 64, 65%. I think that's perfect. a little bit lower in January. I was trading a little bit less size in January, but I strung together this huge trade on RIVX, and that got me going, guys. That got me going. And then I nailed a Tesla short for a Nasdaq trade, and then I just kept that momentum going. And all these multi-day runners, I noticed they traded just like OTC, and I understood the framework of the trades and what they should look like. So that's kind of how I've just built this momentum up throughout the last, three months. And now I kind of feel it, the market slowing down a little bit. Look, you just need to look at your stats. I only made $5,400 this week, and if you see, I'm making five figures pretty much every week here, a couple of slower weeks, but five figures. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I always want to be ready for the market to slow down. Like I always want to be playing the safe approach where like, all right, I'm planning on it to slow down. And if it doesn't slow down, then just get back on the horse and keep going. But always, at any first sign of like this day, I was like, okay, take a step back, take a step back. But then I just refocused because I knew the setup was there. So let's see here. So average win, about 1,200, and my average loss is going up. If you can see here, about my average loss is getting about double every single month. So that's how quickly I've been able to scale up. So you start with $100 risk, string together something, move your risk up, string together something bigger, move your risk up more, string to something bigger. It's all momentum for me, guys. And that's really what I want to stress is just this is just momentum game to me. This is basketball. This is, you got to keep the momentum going. Um, Biggest profit, 12.6 on APRN. Biggest loss, 6.3 on APRN. Winning 85% of my days. If you see here, I've had 3 days. That's one thing that I've noticed throughout the last 3 months is 3 red days on every single month, and a big oopsie here. So we'll get into that. Just some average percent gains here, nothing too crazy. Other than that, that's about it. Let's dive into the monthly recap here. So, first things first, trading 80% Nasdaq. That is crazy to me. If you asked me a year ago, I would say Nasdaq suck, listed sucks, I hate it, OTCs are the only thing I'll trade. But, I stuck with it and I kept learning even though I was frustrated. And that's key too. Like even if you guys are super frustrated and everything, like just the willingness not to give up, just like that sickness in your mind to show up every single day. And no matter what it is, like you really just need to be in love with what you're doing. Because if I wasn't in love with always learning, like I'm always trying to learn. Like every single day I'm trying to get better no matter what. Once again, going long and short 50-50, which is really good. I don't want to be overly biased. I'm pretty sure I said those exact words last month. Nasdaq and OTC win percent 64, solid, and then short 77, long 52. So I did a little bit better shorting. I feel like 70-75 is where I should be, and then my long should be around 50 to 60, ideally 55 to 60. That means I'm trading better. And if this is 75 to 80, that means I'm trading better as well. Overall win percent 64, overall P&L 77,500 before my borrow fees. So I was only able to spend $1,000 in borrow fees, which was really good. Actually pretty surprised with the amount of shorting that I did. But I use E-Trade a lot. E-Trade has shares a lot, guys. E-Trade's been lagging a little bit at the open, but other than that, E-Trade, really has saved me a lot of money rather than reserving shares at Cobra. So let's see. Average week 15,500, insane. 5.32 profit factor, and that's kind of what I've been averaging through the last couple months is that 5 to 6 range, so really good. Long profit factor actually better this month at 4.7, so there's some really good long setups that we'll get into. Mainly, let me see. Yeah, CYDY. I nailed. I actually took a pretty big position size over the weekend, and they were on the news, or not over the weekend, on a Monday, couple 331, so about like 2 weeks ago, and got a really nice gap up, so nailed that. PCTL long, that was a good one too. So my longs were better this month, which I'm pretty happy about. And I suffered that 6K loss shorting, but if I didn't suffer that 6K loss shorting, my shorting would have just been insane. And oh wow, average long profit about 836 and average loss 189. So really, really good there. And finally my average short loss pretty large because of the big 6K loss, but my win percent was super high. So really good, really good month shorting it. Just all around really good trading. So I'm super happy. Um, and once again, now I'm having more four-figure gains, making this more of a single kind of trade. Every single month, if you look up in January here, I had no four-figure gains, right? So, and then some here, and then March just this is what adds up right here. Look at all these $1,000 trades. This is what adds up because these are just lower risk kind of trades. I'm probably risking $200 or $300, and if I can just consistently make a grand or more, that's really going to add up. And then you scale into those 5 setup, those once a week setups that are A++, the ones that you're super familiar with. Those are the ones you scale up, and maybe it's okay to risk 3x what you normally risk or 2x what you normally risk on a super ideal play. But just being able to hit the singles, being able to keep your mentality strong, being able to, stay focused, these are almost more important because then these will set you up for these, is what I'm trying to say. And then just all these little ones, and then some smaller losses here. And, I messed up a few times on, had some bad shorting losses here. So we'll get into that. Let's see if I went over everything. So yeah, that's about it. So I'm gonna dive into some charts just for you guys. So APRN, this was a big Nova. So it started at $2, and as you can see, just low float kind of action, held together, and then we got this gap up, and I didn't trade it at all this day. It dipped, ripped, just some low flow action. And then the third green day is where I got interested in shorting some. And this is the day that I got a little bit screwed over. So as you can see, there's a very clear line here at $10. Very, very clear resistance level. And when it kind of slammed down at the open, I started shorting a few of these pops around here, and then this is really what tricked me. I mean, I saw this massive push where it should have squeezed, maybe, and a decent amount of stuff volume. So I was like, all right, there's so many tops up here. $10 is a very important level to risk. And it slammed down, and I was adding a bunch right here. And I had $2 grand risk. I think I had 2,500 shares from a low 9 average, and I was looking for this thing to go back to 7, 6 maybe. And boom, it just squeezed. And then I took a little bit of slippage on, because it's so quick and it's a low float. So I took a little bit bigger of a loss than I wanted to. And then unfortunately, I revenge traded this entire run right here. Or I think I stopped out maybe somewhere around here, which is really good. And I just realized that I was making mistakes because I was revenge trading some of this, and I was just shorting all over the place and covering, just terrible revenge trading, and I made my loss 2 or 3 times worse just by revenge trading. So just for future reference, when you guys do take that max loss, that decent amount that will make you emotional, like sometimes it's just better to shut down for the day and go do something else, because I would have saved money certainly and came back the next day way more prepared. Because I definitely was prepared the next day, obviously, since I did really good, but I definitely was super, super nervous since I had put myself in a hole. And it's key how you react after a big loser. in my opinion. Like I was saying earlier, the snowball effect is really what you got to watch out for. So this thing squeezed, luckily, squeezed all the way up to 20 bucks. Had a hard dip into the close, trapped some more shorts, and then we get the massive gap up, and this is where I capitalized. So coming into the day, I wanted to be super patient on my entry because I want to I want to I want to make money on the stock on like a quick spike and a quick pull that's very predictable. I don't want to be chasing weakness at all like I did yesterday and getting into a big position size until we're really confirming underneath VWAP. As you can see, we weren't really confirming the previous day where it was kind of holding, around this area where this clearly had failed and pops were failing right here. So I didn't want to touch it out of the open because as you can see, the volume right here is very low. So I was trying to figure out, what was going on. And then some volume came in and they stuffed it and they dipped it. And I noticed the last few days on it, the dips were holding out of the open, and then we were getting that initial squeeze because shorts are chasing and then they get squeezed. And then I saw, three tops right here, and I put on a few shorts and I simply just covered half into this immediate pullback. So now if I had to stop out over this 29 area, then I would be break even and I could reattack higher. But I just wanted to dabble a little bit just to get comfortable with the trade. Whereas Nate from IU really talks about this, and this is kind of my style too, is I really just like to I like to dabble, and then I like to scale once I'm proven right. And, I don't have a problem scaling quickly once I'm proven right, but I like having a very small piece on and just really feeling out the trade, because oftentimes I find if I just take one stab and it doesn't go right, I'm going to try to add to my position. I'm going to try to fix it. Would rather if I take small size, then I can just be reactive to the trade rather than feeling emotionally connected. So I just like to dabble really small size. I like to lock in profits. I like to at least be green on the trade, even if it doesn't work for me. So my goal always is to be green on the trade just by taking advantage of selling greed and buying fear, just simply shorting a pop, covering a dip. And then if my trade thesis is proven right on the bigger picture move, then that's where I can scale. So I had covered some here, and then we got the wash right here, and then I'm thinking, all right, we just cracked 10 bucks. So the stock is extended from 2 to 30 bucks now. So kind of when it popped back, this is when I started scaling, and I had pretty much a stop on the 24, 25 area with at least most of my shares. I probably would still keep a piece just depending on the action. But this is, really where I scaled, and then I was just taking advantage and I was adding more here, and then I don't really know what's going to happen, so I'm covering dips slowly along the way so I can stay patient. And, that's why I like oversizing into this area right here, because I'm not risking this up here on all my shares. I'm risking some just if it starts holding and I'm not right. These are conviction adds right here, which is how you're able to maximize your winners in Nasdaq. How at least I found is you need to be adding conviction size once the odds are that you are right and there's a very high probability that you're right. And then always take off into the dips and when it starts to hold. So I'm covering all the way down, and then I had some left here, and then once this gap down, I'm like, okay, this thing just gapped down 4 bucks. So this is probably the bottom. It's down from 30 to 10 bucks. And this is where, here's my exact line from yesterday of where the highs were, and this is kind of the idea where I had that I wanted to cover anyway. So obviously I'm not able to nail 29 and 10 because not every time it's going to play out as picture perfect at this time, but I'm able to then capitalize on going long. So then the stock's down from 30 to 10, and I'm over covering my shares. So I'm covering and I'm going long because there's a chance that it's going to bounce. And then we got a really nice bounce all the way up to 14, which is 40% bounce. So just being able to, and some people won't be able to think that quick, where it's like, Okay, now I need to go long. And just being able to trade the momentum of the stock. That's kind of, I want to be trading the momentum. Like my process and my strategy, I feel is a little bit different from people's, where it's not, I don't have a set criteria. I don't have a system that I do everything correctly. It's more of an art in trading. That's how I feel. It's way more of an art. So, my process, my system is trusting myself with the information that I am given. I need to make the right decision based on the price action, based on the tape, based on what other people are saying, based on the fundamentals. And then I need to take all this information and develop my own thesis and trade my tight risk management and then be able to scale my winners. So, a little bit of a rant there, but I hope some of you can kind of see my mindset on these Nasdaq stocks, because that's how I have recently found success trading them. Um, I can't trade them with wide stops, small size all the time, because I really just like scaling on these multi-day runners because the moves are just pretty insane. And I understand these moves because these are like um, OTC charts, right? 2 to 30. And these are the charts that I do the best on, and then I'm able to capitalize on, dip buys throughout this area. And, APT still such a great mover. Oops. APT, like the same exact pattern. And, I even did good on this stock over here just because I'm super familiar with it. I shorted it this day. I shorted it this day and held overnight. So able to capitalize very, very nicely on APT, able to capitalize on the green days too, and just kind of understanding the framework and just the daily candle movements. Whereas CLSK, right? Like these are a lot of this is the other big time Nasdaq strategy, is shorting the D1 gappers with the toxic stuff. And you get the fade from 4 to 150, which is amazing percent return. So these are good too, but it's just I'm more comfortable with the multi-day runners since I've traded them a lot more, and I feel like the odds are a lot higher on multi-day runners. I could be wrong. I mean, a lot of these gappers really die, but they can, since they're so much more less extended. You know what I mean? Like this thing gapped up, yeah, gapped up massively, but the multi-day runners, uh, I think the odds of them giving it a big move is a lot higher because of the the amount that they're extended and the days that they're extended. So, and then what was really cool too is WTRH was actually moving with APRN, so this was a really nice one, and I fucked this one up. Um, Excuse me for the swear word, but I really screwed this one up, and I think I could have done way better on this one. But I still locked in some really decent gains on it. But I'm going to be super prepared for the next sector now that I've seen INO. These were all my big winners, these massive multi-day runners. That's what I do best on. So I'm going to be super prepared for the next one. I'll be excited, but for right now, I'm just kind of happy we have a little bit of a break from the market being closed and everything. And I don't even know what the point of this uh, video really is, but I'm just reviewing my month and kind of just spitting out some things that I'm thinking of. So I hope that maybe you could take something from this, which is always good. And then I'd also do these so I can personally look back, maybe it's going to be a year or 2 years down the line, and just kind of see what I was thinking at this certain time. And I recommend you guys do something too. Like this is kind of like my journal, and I'll share it with people because that's been one of my goals since the beginning, is to be a super transparent trader. I want to, my ultimate goal is to reach $1 million in profits, and doing it transparently from the beginning. I made a video when I lost all my profits on HER before anybody even knew my name. And that's how I've always been. I want to share my process with everyone so everybody can see. And I just think how that's how you can learn better, is sharing, connecting with people. And I don't want to be that lonely trader who's just sitting in his dark room just trading. Um, I like talking to people, so I'm always going to be super transparent with you guys. I don't care. You guys can see all my numbers. You guys can see everything that I see. I post all my trades on Profitly. I really don't care. So just watch my process. Take what you guys want from it. You know what I mean? If you think that I'm saying something and it makes no sense, like good. I'm not perfect. I'm not the best trader in the world. But if that one thing maybe that I can help you with sticks with you, then take that one thing from me. But don't like copy my entire process because it's not going to work for you. I found what worked for me. So take what you want, take the little things, and use them to your advantage. That's basically what I would do with all the successful traders that are transparent out there. Is I take one, two, three, maybe five things if it's Tim Gertani from them. But other than that, nobody's perfect. I see people make mistakes, and if they're doing something I don't agree with, like I'll be like, no. So if I'm doing something here, don't take everything that I say for to heart. That's basically what I'm saying. But other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, guys. I hope it wasn't too discombobulated or anything. Uh, Hope all you guys have a great weekend. I will see you guys on my April recap. Decent little start here, up 12 grand. So, my expectations aren't too high. I'd be happy with a 20 grand month, 30 grand maybe. 35 is kind of what I'm on track for, it seems like. So, just going to keep taking it one trade at a time. See you guys back in here in April.